Hello there, miner. This time I'm going to teach you how to make a map. Map making mode contains a ton of unique features to help you make maps. It contains so much that this tutorial will have to be split up into multiple parts. Let's start by going over your primary tool for making maps, the Minergun. The Minergun has two modes, Build and Laser. You can switch between the two modes by clicking the right thumbstick in on the controller or clicking in the mouse wheel using the default controls. Let's first take a look at Laser mode. Laser mode has 4 settings for destroying blocks. Blaster is selected by default when you first switch to laser mode. To switch between settings, use up and down on the D-pad on the controller or on keyboard. Pressing C will move you down, or you can use the up and down arrow keys. Starting from the top, the first setting is called Single. Single will destroy blocks one at a time. The second setting is called Triple. Triple will destroy blocks 3 at a time. It will destroy the block you are aiming at, along with the block above it and below it. The third setting is called Nonapole. Nonapole will destroy up to 27 blocks at a time. Nonapole will destroy blocks in a 3x3 cube. The block you aim at will be the center of the cube, and any blocks that surround it will be destroyed. The final setting is called Blaster. Blaster needs to be charged by holding the right trigger on the controller or the left mouse button on PC. There are 3 charge stages. Gray won't do anything. Yellow will fire a ball of energy that can slightly damage other players. And red will fire a larger ball of energy that will push you back when fired. The ball will also kill players with a direct hit and destroy blocks on impact. Last, by pressing B on the controller or Alt on the keyboard, you can toggle between continuous and single for the first 3 settings. With single, you will only destroy blocks 1 at a time, 3 at a time with triple, up to 27 at a time with nonapole, and will need to press the fire button again to destroy more. Continuous is on by default. With continuous, you will continue to destroy blocks as long as you hold the fire button. Now let's take a look at Build mode. Build mode also contains 4 different settings for placing blocks. Starting at the top, the first setting is called Face. Face will let you place blocks 1 at a time. It will also show you a hologram preview of where you are placing the block. The second setting is called Float. Float will allow you to place a single block around you, roughly 2 blocks away. With Float, you are able to place blocks in midair. You also get a hologram preview of where the block will go. The third setting is Fill. Fill also has 3 different modes of its own that can be switched by pressing B on the controller or Alt on the keyboard. The default fill mode is All. All will allow you to change blocks into other blocks in the area of a sphere. The block you are aiming at will act as the center of the sphere. The radius of the sphere is about 7 blocks. Only blocks of the same type and that are next to each other will be changed. The second fill mode is Surface. Surface will only change blocks 1 block deep. The last fill mode is Downward. Downward is similar to the fill mode All, but as the name applies, it will only change blocks below the block you're aiming at. The last Minergun setting is Line. Line will place a line of blocks until it reaches another block or the end of the map. Make sure to be careful when placing lines of blocks. Next, let's go over how to pick different blocks. At the top of the Minergun screen is the toolbar containing 8 different blocks. You can switch between these blocks by using left and right on the D-pad on the controller, the left and right arrow keys, or the number keys 1 through 8 on the keyboard. You can change the blocks on the toolbar by pressing X on the controller or E on the keyboard on the block you want to replace. The Minergun screen will then change to the block picker. Use the D-pad on the controller or arrow keys on the keyboard to navigate to the block you want to select. There are 4 pages of blocks to choose from. To change the page, simply continue to move the selector up or down until the page changes. Once you have navigated to the block you want, simply press X on the controller or E on the keyboard to make your selection and return to the settings screen. You are able to change all 8 of the blocks on the toolbar. That should just about cover the miner gun. Let's move on to blocks. In case you didn't notice, all maps in Murder Miners are made up of blocks. There are 2 types of blocks, regular blocks and props. There are also 2 special blocks. Regular blocks are the most common. You can walk over them and wall jump off of them. Props take up the same amount of space as a regular block, even though they can appear smaller. You can walk through props, however, props will block bullets from passing through but not grenades and other explosives. Now let's talk about the 2 special blocks. First, there's the space block. The space block acts as a regular block, however, it will bounce whatever it comes in contact with. You can increase its bounciness by stacking space blocks on top of each other. The other special block is the invisible block. By default, in map making mode, you're able to place, see, and destroy invisible blocks. In other modes, however, the block will be invisible and indestructible. Lastly, let's go over block strength. All blocks in the game have a strength rating. A block's strength determines how much damage it can take from bullets and explosives before it's destroyed. You can find out a block's strength by aiming at it with a miner gun in laser mode. Well, that will be it for this part of the map making tutorial. Check out the next part to find out more.